Store in Chennai. My name is Pete Duckett. I'm an engineering manager at Dyson, and I've been at Dyson for about 16 years, and I now manage a team of 50 plus engineers that's responsible for developing the majority of the technology that you see here today inside our machines, which includes the motors inside the vacuum cleaners, our purifiers, the lighting, and I also work occasionally with the guys that do the hair care projects as well. And so over the last few years, Dyson has been opening up stores all over the world. This is actually the 4th store to open up in India. We have 2 in Delhi, 1 in Bangalore, and this is the first store in Chennai. And I'm really excited to be here. Actually, this is my first time to India as a whole, so thank you for being so welcoming. I'm excited to open our first new store here. But back 16 years ago, even when I was an engineer and helping to develop products, we were still encouraged to go into stores and demonstrate our products. And that's why we open the Dyson stores here today. It's for getting the technology, the products in the hands of people, just because we know it's much easier to demonstrate the performance, the benefit, and why Dyson is such a great product. And that's why we're here today, and that's why I'm here today. And it's quite exciting as an engineer to get them in the hands of yourselves, and also just to tell you a little bit more about what goes on inside the machines, a little bit why our Dyson philosophy of solving a problem, thinking different and making better machines, and how that comes about into the finished product. Okay, so the first, what I'm going to demonstrate to you today is the Dyson V11 Absolute. Now, the V11 is actually the name of the brand new motor that's gone inside the machine. Let me just take this off here. You can see a picture of it up here. Now, this is 20% more performance than the last generation, and it's also more efficient and quieter. The way we've done that is, we can't quite see inside, but we have a triple diffuser that enables the air to exit and reduces the noise and increases the efficiency. And that's at the core of the whole machine. We make our own motors at Dyson. We invest a lot of money in developing that technology, and that's enabled us to put so much more power into a small package inside the machine. So when we've got such a powerful motor, we need to know how to manage that power as well. And so what we also have with the V11 is a digital display at the back. Now this gives feedback to the user. We're able to manage the different power settings, so we've got an eco mode, a medium, and a boost mode. But it also senses and adapts automatically as well. So we've increased the power into our clean air head here. So we've got a high torque brush bar that's continually sensing the power draw on the machine. And you can see on a hard floor like this, it's not that demanding. If I move it onto carpet, it will increase the power, the demand, because the carpet's harder to reduce. If I pull it off, the power drops, because I don't need as much suction or as much power on the brush bar. And you can see on the back there's a countdown timer to how much runtime I've got left in the battery. Here it's 46 minutes, which is quite generous. And you can see that change when we go onto the carpet. Increases the power, of course, you have less battery runtime. But because it senses and adapts to its environment, it means you get much more power or much more runtime. It's much more efficient than any of the other products. Okay, but of course, After the dynamic load system that we've got in here, we also bring the dirty air into the machine and it gets separated through our cyclone technology. The cyclone technology is what started the Dyson story. In here we've got 12 cyclones, and that spins the air really fast, about 125 miles an hour, and creates about 70 to 80,000 Gs. And that separates the dirt from the air. And the dirt is separated into this clear bin, and the rest of the air gets thrown into the back of the machine into our high efficiency filters. Now these filters are designed to capture the very tiny particles, about 99.95% of those tiny particles, down to about 0.3 microns, which is about a tenth of human hair, which is really, really small. So in fact, the air coming out of the back of the machine is much cleaner than the air going into the machine. The display also gives some feedback when the filters need maintaining, how much runtime you've got, also if you've got any blockages in the machine as well that you need to remove. So it's actually a really intelligent microprocessor in the back here, linked with the motor and the dynamic load system. So it's a fantastic product. Okay, also some usability features, of course. When you've finished with cleaning, you need to empty that into the bin, but you don't want to touch the dirt. And so we've got a very easy bin emptying system. Just a single push of a button, and that empties out into the bin. Of course, we haven't got a bin here, but that's absolutely no problem. Vacuum that right back up again. Really, really easily. Okay. Of course. Oh, we can do a little bit more of a demonstration here, but I encourage you as we go around, please feel free to pick up the products, have a go at them yourself. That's really when you can feel the benefit. Okay. Okay, you kicked into high gear there because it's on the carpet. Okay. So that's the Dyson V11 Absolute. Okay, I'll leave it here. If anyone wants to pick it up, feel free to take it off the wall. So, secondly, what I'd like to go through, I'm going to walk over here, and so people are becoming a little bit more aware of quality of the air and the pollutants that are given off outside. But believe it or not, we spend 90% of our time indoors, either at home, sleeping in the office. And the air quality can actually be up to 5 times worse than the air quality on outdoors. And that's why we've developed our air purifying technology. The reason it can be quite bad is there's actually hidden pollutants within our environment. Now it might be certain aerosols, candles that we're lighting, but also cooking is a very typical pollutant, especially gas cooking. Some pollutants you can get off wood stains, fabric, etc., etc. And so what we try and do is it's a 3-in-1 package here. We try and sense the atmosphere. We sense the atmosphere for particulate pollutants, PM2.5, PM10. We sense the atmosphere for VOCs, volatile organic compounds. They're the formaldehydes, the benzenes, the harmful gaseous compounds that we have from lots of everyday aerosols, products, smoke, etc. And then also the relative humidity and temperature as well. So that's for thermal comfort in the environment. So we sense that, We have sensors constantly monitoring the atmosphere, but also when we sense an event, a pollution event, it then turns the machine on and increases the flow so that it's then projecting the air, then mixing the air in the whole room, and then also capturing it into our filters. And I'll demonstrate an event here. What we've got here is our typical machine. This is our desk purifier. Now, I'll put this on auto mode. Okay. So we've got PM2, we're going to PM10, the VOCs, NO2, which is your typical pollutant from cars. So if you live in a city next to a road, this is quite typical. Temperature and humidity as well, and we'll filter light. And we aggregate that into a general air quality metric. But of course, I'll leave it at PM2.5. But if we introduce an event, a pollution event, this looks cooking as well as aerosols. Okay, suddenly it senses it. We've got over 500 milligrams per meter cubed, and then it will increase that fan speed so that it's then trying to clean the air. And it cleans to about 40 to 50 litres per second. You can see taking away those pollutants and capturing it into the filters here. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit about the filtration technology. We have two filters in these purifiers. One of them is a high efficiency HEPA filter. So this captures 99.97% of all the particulate matter down to 0.1 microns. So we've managed to fit 9 meters of filter media in here, densely packed. So that captures your PM 2.5 in 10. And then we have impregnated carbon with tris. And this activated carbon, which is actually some kind of burn coconut, is actually used to capture the formaldehyde and the VOCs. Gaseous compounds. Okay. But the clever thing about this, not only do we have a display, but it's also a connected product. And yeah, okay. So I'm going to show you the device. We don't get that on the inside, so I'm going to move over to the Dyson light cycle. Core to this technology was the motor. So we designed our own motor. It spins at 125,000 RPM, but it's about the size of 25 mil, about that big, which is about a third of the size of a conventional hairdryer's motor. What that allowed us to do was put the motor in the handle, and we were able to shift the centre of balance to make this a more manoeuvrable product, and we could shrink down the head and just put the heating elements inside here. If you wanted a more detailed picture, you can see the graphics on the store side, on the store wall. So shrinking the motor down, maintaining 13 litres per second at high pressure. The next thing we had to do was study the hair. Now, everyone wants long, shiny, healthy hair. So we spent 2 or 3 years studying hair science, and also used up about 1,625 kilometers of hair, which is about half the length of India, I believe. So it's a lot of hair that we studied. We found that the biggest culprit that damages hair is heat itself. What tends to happen is you come out of the shower, you wash your hair, and it's wet. And a lot of hair dryers will just overheat the hair, and that causes the moisture in the hair to burst out rapidly, and it damages the hair, causes it to dull in finish. So what we've done is we've put a glass bead thermistor and we've got a microprocessor in here, and that measures the temperature about 20 times per second, and then regulates the power into the hairdryer. And that prevents the high temperature heat damage. But we also achieve fast dry times because we've got a high amount of airflow and a high amount of pressure coming out of this hairdryer. We've got 3 speed settings and 3 heat settings, as well as a cool shot. But of course, everyone's different. And so we've also got magnetic attachments. We've got a diffuser for curly, frizzy hair, as well as a focus jet flow for straighter hair, which is a magnetic attachment, which can be adjusted at any time during your styling. With a lot of conventional hair dryers also, once you've been using it for a few minutes, it gets very hot to touch, but we've got our cool wall technology here that provides, lets the hot air escape from the middle, but also allows the side walls to be cool to touch. So you can change the angle of this anytime during your hair dryer. Okay. You come out, you have wet hair, then you dry it, and then you style it. So this has been designed to go straight from wet to style. And the way we did that is we linked it up with our airflow and heating technology and designed a completely revolutionary tool, styling tool, that used the same Coanda technology that was in our original fans. If you notice, if you look down the barrel here, it's very much like an airplane wing. And what that does, with a high pressure motor, if you put a jet of air over that profile, it creates an area of low pressure and brings the hair in to the tool. So I'm going to demonstrate it here. So notice that as we blow hot air around that, it also pulls the hair into the styling tool. So it will take wet hair, wrap it around the tool, and then dry it. It will leave a sustained style, as well as not protecting the hair from damage as well. Okay. So that's the air wrap, its name. But we also acknowledge the fact that people may still just want to dry their hair, so we have a standard air drying attachment, as well as straightening the air as well. You notice on here, if you manage to play with the tool, if you're wanting to straighten your hair down here, you'll notice that this is rocked back and forth. And what that allows to do is give a targeted air jet in the direction of the hair that you're trying to style. Again, if you want to flip it around and use it the other way, it will rock back, and again change the direction of air to go downstream of the hair, so maintain, to give a healthy shine and also straight hair finish. I'm not a hairstylist myself, so I think the best thing we can do is we'll take you over to our resident hairstylist we have at the moment, and we'll be able to demonstrate the air wrap and technology over here.